Broducers, it's Özgün here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to make festival BIGROOM drops, and we are gonna use triplet walking for that. I get so many questions about how to make triplet BIGROOM drop, and here we go. If you're ready, let's get into that tutorial. We are gonna use this kick. It's from Steve Patreon, one of the Patreon sample packs. You can check that one out. So guys, to create the BIGROOM kick, you are gonna need three main elements, right? One of the punch kick, which we have this one, and one is the sub, and one is the texture, the mid gritty layer. For the sub, I'm gonna go Vengeance, because you can find different keys of the kicks, which is really nice. So the baseline is something like this. To make triplet BIGROOM, you don't need to make triplet basslines. The kick and the bass stay same as usual. When we are putting the drums and our other rhythmic stuff and melody, we are gonna go triplet. But to create the kick and bass, you don't need to go triplets. It's just regular as creating a tonal kick. I'm gonna do something like this. Let's send this one to some separate channel, call it sub, and maybe we can send the kick to here. And I'm gonna sidechain the sub so it doesn't interfere with the kick. And I like to just write my bass progression. In this kind of drops, when we are talking about the melody, you are gonna see that we are gonna have a repetitive melody. So to avoid to get people bored, I'm gonna make my bass line moving all the time. So this is the progression I'm gonna make. Let me duplicate this too. I'm gonna go like this, 400 down, and 200 down from the tonal key. If my tone is F, so C sharp and D sharp. So this is my progression. I want to cut the highs because I want to have some space for other elements in the mix, such as my gritty bass, mid bass layer, and other elements. So I can just cut the highs of the sub. Okay, since this is an empty project, I always have 5 or 6 dB reducing from my master and put a clipper so I don't get clip, and I will still have headroom when I finish the mix down. So the several notes are too loud. Let's get rid of them. Yeah, so the D sharp is resonating too much. If I just lower it a little bit, and we can always check it with LFO tool. So I get so many questions like, what about mixing your tracks? How do you mix your tracks? I always mix while I produce. I think it's best fitting for me. But if you are so creative and want to produce, just don't care about the mix down. If you are on the vibe, just do it. You can mix it later. For example, this tutorial, I know what to do. That's why I like to mix and master and do everything at the same time. Okay, now everything looks decent in the oscilloscope, and we can add our grit layer. So again, I'm gonna use Steve's tonal BIGROOM kicks. It sounds like this. Let's send it to separate channel, call it mid bass. Again, I'm gonna sidechain it, but maybe that's not that hard. And we are gonna need to cut the lows because we don't wanna clash with the sub. We have the sub, we have the mid. They should be like a puzzle. And we can always just saturate the mid layer a little bit. Let's see how it sounds. And yeah, I always check if there's some phasing issues, you will see it, some dips or something, but it looks good. So our layering is good. But if you realize, we have the click of the kicks because the kick start is not starting from 0. To get rid of this, you can just choose all and do like this. And maybe we can choose generic so it doesn't make the click popping or clipping sound. Let's do the same with this one. So quickly we are gonna need to duplicate this one and make 400 down 2 times and make unique and make it minus 200, minus 4, minus 2. Yeah, this is the classical walking, bass walking for a generic BIGROOM track, it always works. Let's hear how it sounds together. If you go E3 mono, the bass pitching is gonna sound better. Okay, let's finish our bass arrangement. And we are pretty much done with the kick and the bass. You know, if you even not satisfied, you can just find some really clicky kick layer like this. And you can layer it with the main kick. It looks better, it sounds better. Let's use this one. Maybe we can use it more small. We gotta make sure it's not clashing with the kick itself. We just need the click part of it. Okay, let's make the leads. First, I'm gonna put a layer. So I have 3 leads. I'm gonna choose them and click set children. So when I just play the layer, all of the leads are gonna play. Okay, they sound good. Now we are gonna talk about how to create that catchy and rememberable melody. This is the most important part in this kind of tracks. Because if you are gonna play this one in the festival, you want the audience to remember it so fast. So in the second turn of the drop, they should be able to sing and hum the melody. So that's why we are gonna make a really simple melody, but really catchy one. For this tutorial, I'm mostly inspired from the track from Ümmet Özcan, İzmir track. So that track's melody is actually a Turkish march, and like everyone in Turkey knows the melody. So I thought, what if I just find another march? You know, you can find so many marches, so many old melodies from folk songs. And I have something on my mind, and I'm gonna try to make it a BIGROOM. This is called the Mehter March. It's one of the march from Ottoman Empire, and I thought it's gonna be perfect for a BIGROOM track. Now we are gonna think about triplets. We go 1-3 beats in here, so the grid is changed. Now we can write some triplet melodies. But first, let's sidechain the leads a little bit, and maybe we can give it a camel crusher, and we can give an EQ. So always like make the raw processing of the sounds. So I'm gonna make sure to go F in my helper. When I'm writing the melody, I'm thinking to start with the root. Let's go start from here. And if you go to the 5th, it's called subdominant, and it's the second most important guy in the scale, and it should sound really decent. You see? For this kind of tracks, just try to be repetitive. And I just used this 1-5 trick, and I made something random. Like you can do so many variations. But I'm following the march in my head. Nice. If I make it a rhythm, I should be do something like this. Don't even have too much possibilities, you know. It's now triplets. I have only 3 spots to put my MIDI. Sounds good. Now we filled the spots, and it's still a simple melody. Let's duplicate it. Why not? Because we want to go repetitive, right? That's why we made the bass line changing all the time. That's good. So we totally have the same stuff 2 times. And in the second part, we are gonna make a response to that. So we are, instead of making like a question, response, we are making a really big question. And this is the key to make the rememberable, totally rememberable track. Everyone is gonna remember what's gonna be happen in the second part. So now I'm gonna go do some ending and response to that. And again, I'm gonna think the march because it was something like that. Let's try to write it in the MIDI. Yeah, the main thing is like this. So let's complete it like this, and we are gonna add the extras later. And I'm ending with the root again. So now I'm gonna feel it like as I do in the first part. Now let's listen it from the beginning. Yeah, this is the march, and it's fitting perfectly to a big room because march is written for the people to remember and sing easily. And yeah, the analysis of this, we have a question, 2 times, same question, and we are gonna have an answer. In the end, the answer is like starting from 6, and it's like ba ba ba ba ba ba ba. You know, very basic, and we are gonna feel it with the triplet rhythm, and it's already gonna sound finished. And don't forget the end to the root, because when you go back to root, it sounds like finished. But why stop here? Let's go get a pluck layer. So if we check the key of this, it's F sharp. If I move it 1 semitone down, it's maybe we can use it like this. As you see, we have some gaps in these parts. Maybe in the second part, we can fill the gaps with the pluck, like probably like this. I need to make it C. Sorry. Oh, it should be like this. So yeah, now I need to make the sample C. So this MIDI should make sense then. I'm gonna bring some delay reverb. And I like to use isotope trash clip control like 15 or 20% after the reverb. It like glues the sound and give it some top end, which I really enjoy. I don't want to color and EQ anymore. I think they sound really decent. So we can now go to the background elements, which is gonna complete the drop totally. The first thing we are gonna need the step. So this is one of the Kashmir samples. Let's make it F and send the sound empty channel. All I'm gonna do is cut the lows and just give a bit of sidechain. Maybe we can give a bit overdrive. Yeah, so it sounds bigger. And if you want to glue it with the track, you can give some basic reverb. So we should do like this. I'm pushing it a bit back so I will have some space for my leads. For claps, you can just go your regular BIGROOM claps. You don't need to again think like triplets. And I don't like to clash the claps, my kicks transient. I always like to start my claps 1 pixel later. So my kick transient will come out from the mix. Okay, let's put the toms. I'm gonna use this tom from Vengeance. And I have this tom layer from one of the Oli packs. So it sounds like this. It has a nice top layer. That's why I'm gonna layer my tom with this one. And let's make sure our tom doesn't have any low end, because it always clash with our actual bass. Maybe I can add several variations to the rhythm. Yes, just this one in the first part. I think it sounds a bit more full and I like it better this way. So I have this exhaust layer. I always render if I like some specific sound from one of my previous tracks. I always render my stems. And I'm gonna add this crowd noise. So probably for the pre-drop fill, we can just go one of the Kashmir triplet fills. And again, a Kashmir snare. Because it's hard to find triplets, like you should chop the regular samples and make triplets, which takes time. That's why I'm gonna just stick for Kashmir samples now. Yeah, this should work. And I have 2 more snare and fill samples. You see the gap in here. We have a gap in our melody, which we can fill with this kind of samples. Maybe we can just take this part, combine it with a big snare. And we can use this tail. Let's make it unique and reverse. We can just use it to prepare the incoming snare. It should sound nice. Okay, let's determine it with the kick. I'm gonna copy this one to the second part. And for the mid drop fill, I'm gonna use this just regular snare. And let's see what if we just follow these notes. Even we can fill here. Always when you are making your fills, try to be in the context of the idea of your track. You should be like following and merging all the samples, all the rhythms together. So if I have a random rhythm in here, it's not fit with the melody. That's why if I'm gonna write some snare fill, I should be checking the MIDI of my melody. And of course, we are gonna need some impact in here. Again, I'm just dragging some random stem. Always have a low end in your fills. Without it, it's just too empty. Okay, let me put this sample. It was 140. Maybe we can just put it in here. I'm just looking for some sweep impact. So it's good to end the drop with this kind of sounds. This. One more little trick. When you are just starting the drop, the first impact is really important. So if I just find some maybe hardstyle kick and cut the lows of it, I can just start my drop with that one. Like for the first hit, I can layer this one. You see, it's adding too much. And if you see, I start my exhaust in the second part, so I have a space for the impact. Try not to clash so many elements in your mix. This is the key to get a cleaner mix down. Yeah, and lastly, I'm gonna have some white noise to my drop. This sound from one of the Oli packs. But I don't want to use it like this because I have crowd and exhaust already. Maybe I can just cut one of the parts in here and use it like a white noise all the time. I think we have 2 missing stuff left. Then we can take a final listen. I want to, and also I want to start the second part like maybe I can remove the punch kick. Yeah, I don't know. I want something like this. I don't know if it makes no sense, but we want some ear candy in the second part when it starts. The one of the missing things, we can add a right. So in the second part, you can make the leads 1 octave higher. It's something that you can do. But I like to add this right, but with a little bit of Haas effect. And I'm gonna bring a crash. This is the, I think, last thing to add the drop. Maybe we can just follow the steps. And I think, yes, now we can take a final listen. Let's check how it's looking with the span. I just boost a bit of the mids on my mid bass. Now we should be looking good in the spectrum. Let's check the LFO tool also. Like, this is what I'm looking for. I don't have any gaps. I'm filling whole the dynamic range, which is really important in BIGROOM. And yeah, we can have the final listen. I hope you can apply this to your productions too, guys. If you have any questions related to it, you can join the Discord or just ask in the comment section. Today that was it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye bye.